So again, if you want to keep your camera off, have it on, whatever you want, but just to make you aware that it is being recorded. And again, that's just for yourselves to have for future use if you want to look back on it. So it's there. Again, just to remain on mute as the presenters are going through their presentations. And then, obviously at the end, we can come off and have a discussion. Or if you want to ask any questions, just use the chat box as well. So just to remind that the purpose of this Fam Trip Friday series is really about building the knowledge of the tourism product across the district, about strengthening partnerships to enhance the visitor experience so that, you and your business can obviously send people to other attractions, properties within the district, and to forge connections to support business development. So I suppose today we're very lucky in terms of speakers. We have our guest speaker, Mary McKeown, who's going to present first on the OM Dark Sky Park and Observatory in our neighbouring council area of Mid-Ulster. But again, as we were saying earlier, visitors don't see council boundaries. So I suppose when they're coming to this part of the world, it's good for us to know what's happening there. And we're delighted that Mary is here to share the information about the park with us. We also have Selwyn Johnson, who is going to speak about Headhunters Barbershop and Railway Museum. We have Mark Millar and Kendall as well, Kendall Glenn from the Glenpark Estate. And we have Isabelle Leonard from Corralea Activity Centre. So we're going to kick off with Mary. And if you just give me a second, because Mary is going to share her own presentation. So just give me a wee second here, folks. And is that okay now?
I'll try, Karen.
I might have to do some magic here to allow you to present, do you?
Hold on, I just see how I'm getting on here.
It's gone very dark, but maybe that's just the starry skies, is it?
Yeah. Oh, are you muted, Mary?
I don't know how that happened. I wasn't on mute, but I went mute. I'm going to try that again. Can everybody see the presentation? No. Let me just try.
Can
you see it now?
There, you can see it now, yeah.
Perfect. Sorry about that, everybody.
At all.
Now, many thanks this morning for the opportunity to speak to you today. And as Karen has said, my name is Mary McKeown and I am the Tourism Manager for Mid-Ulster District Council. But Karen, you are right, tourists do not see borders, and I certainly don't see borders, and this is a fantastic opportunity and something, Karen, that we will probably do in Mid-Ulster, that we cross-sell our beautiful experiences. And just talking about beautiful experiences, today I want to talk to you about ours, which is Stars and Stones. And it is one of Tourism Northern Ireland's signature brand experiences for Embrace a Giant Spirit. And we say that it's a luxury getaway in the unspoilt Spurn Mountains. Now, Dark Sky Park and Observatory is Northern Ireland's first dark sky park, which forms part of this experience. Also today, I will speak briefly to you other things you can do in the nearby area. The Stars and Stone experience incorporates Dark Sky Park and Observatory. It is located in Dava Forest in an area of outstanding natural beauty in the Spurn Mountains. The centre is only 80 minutes from Belfast, over 2 hours from Dublin, roughly 40 minutes from Derry, and an hour and 20 minutes from Donegal, Wild Atlantic Way, and only about 40 minutes to Enniskillen. As you can see, it is situated in the heart of Northern Ireland. Dava in Irish translates into cauldron, and this is how the area is protected from light pollution. Now, Dark Sky Park is the 78th dark sky park in the world, as 80% of people now live under sky glow, which means you can't see the stars or planets above you. It is a true star party in the sky. I'd like to show you a wee short video here, which will actually show you what the experience is and what we actually have to offer. Now, what you're looking at now, and I'm sure a lot of you know, this is Beckmore stone circles. It is 3 sets of circles and alignments. which people argue go toward the summer solstice. We believe this is our first observatory. You're now looking at Spurn Glamping View. It is a beautiful park where you can lie back and enjoy the darkness of the sky. Just look at that beautiful scenery behind you of the Spurn Mountains. We have built a solar walk, a board solar walk, which is augmented reality, which will take you to here, on Dark Sky Park. This is Kirsty. She is our guide. She'll bring you into our exhibition. It's 45 minutes and she will lead you around this beautiful exhibition with VR headsets and holograms. You're now looking at the LX 600 Meade telescope. And here's myself, Barra Best, the night the BBC. We had a great night showing Barra beautiful wonders of the sky. Adam, he is our resident astronomer. He can do astrophotography classes and do VIP one-to-one courses. Finishing your evening outside at our beautiful outdoor light show, which is projected onto the side of our building. We encourage you to bring your own telescopes, or if not, we can provide them and we can show you how to capture what's in the sky and also tell you what is in the sky. Because we have no light pollution, you can see the planets, the constellations, and the Milky Way above you. As you saw the projection show onto the side of the building, you probably thought, what is that? We are the first rural area to do light projection onto the side of a building. We call this our Odyssey outdoor show. We have two shows. One links only this place and our heritage and why it is Dava, why this experience can't be anywhere else. We then talk about and take you through time and through the solar system. This experience is to language, this experience is not to language, but is to sound and noise. So there is no language barriers for your international visitor. Also within the exhibition, if we do have foreign visitors, we can give out handouts in French, Irish, Mandarin, German, and Spanish, so that everyone has a fully immersive experience when they visit on. Look at that image. I'm sure many of you that are on the call today do live in the Spurn Mountains and on occasions have seen the Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights. And I love this picture because it just shows the lack of light pollution in the area. I'm very passionate about this project because it was 10 years that I have been working on this project, secured the funding and built this as a mini destination for the Spurn Mountains. These guys, when we took the photographs that night, were very lucky to see the moons around Jupiter. But it just shows that there is something for all. You don't have to be into astronomy either. We've plenty of other things to do in the forest. We've 31 kilometres of mountain bikes. We've a beautiful play area. We've just opened up our Archaeology Walk and, as I said, our solar walk, which comes to life with our augmented app, which is an experience that brings you through the plans and vibrates when you come to an archaeology monument or if you come to La Planet. As I said, it's a day and nighttime experience, and this was taken around twilight. And the way that I asked the archaeologists and the astronomers and everybody when we done a stakeholder meeting, they said, build an observatory that will actually blend into the landscape. So the architect took all of these on board, and as you can see, it just looks as if the observatory is floating there in the bog. And I think, if you don't agree, they've done a great job. Nearby accommodation then in the immediate area, the nearest in the Dark Sky Park is Spurn View Glamping, and I'm sure some of you have saw them on the television in different places. And this was a local farmer that had come back from Australia, and he just said, I see a bit of vision here. He spoke to myself, and instead of the council putting in their glamping pods, he took this project on and designed them with a local architect, and I believe they look amazing, and the feedback that we get is great. They have hot tubs, glass triangular roofs, as I say, you just lie back and enjoy the darkness of the sky. They are located beside Beckmore Stone Circles, and at the starter end of the solar walk, whatever you care to do, as I say, you're at Neptune, and then you can take the boardwalk right over to the sun, which is our biggest star. Other hotels in Cookstown is only 12 miles away. You have the Glenavon House Hotel, which has got leisure facilities, and all family run. You've got the Greenvale, the Royal, and the Tullylagan. When you're in the area, we have a wealth of other experiences to do, and I'm sure you've all heard, and some of you've maybe been to Seamus Heaney Home Place, which is a beautiful museum and exhibition dedicated to the life of Seamus. Jamesy McLeod has just been phenomenal for us. He is one of our standout experiences and has attracted a lot of attention. Kaniki now is one of the larger tour operators, and before COVID, he had secured and has secured tour groups from the Chinese and European market that are visiting him. He brings his dogs, and Shep will bring the sheep in for you. He also does sheep shearing. It's something very simple, but it works and people love it. Killymoon Castle is just situated in Cookstown. Amazing candlelit suppers, Three Sisters tours, and there's also a World War II exhibition in the cellars where the Army and the American Army actually lived during World War II. And they talk about one soldier in particular, but I'll not give too much away because I'd love you all to come and hear that wonderful story. We're very blessed about Ulster. We've got Lochnay on one side and the Spurn Mountains on the other. So we really do look at Lochnay, and we have a large project at the moment being built at Ballerona Marina, where we're actually building houseboats out on the marina, and there's also loads of different experience being built around it. Lochnay Boat Tours is a now new experience, which is ready for sellable now that you can send your guests. They can go out onto the loch and hear the story of the loch and the eels, and then ending your visit here up at the Eels Fishery or in the start of the morning when the fishermen are bringing the eels in from the loch. Everybody loves a wee bit of home cooking, and Brona Duffin does it so well at Bakehouse NI. Brona will help you go out, forage and bring in your little ingredients and berries depending on what time of the year it is, and she will do lovely cooking and baking tours. This is very, very successful, folks, and works well with other experience combined, making it a longer stay. The Hill of the O'Neill in Dungannon, that is the dynasty, and I call it the authentic Game of Thrones. And this takes you through the history of Ireland. And it's sort of a good place maybe to start your journey when you do come to Northern Ireland, and it sort of explains how we are and where we are today. Now, I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but that was a very much whistle-stop tour. We've loads of more experience and other experience, but Ciara and I do work very closely together. I am going to stop sharing my screen and I can speak to you.
Thank you, Mary.
That
is a great insight to and of course other experiences in the area, so thank you. And is opening now, Mary.
3rd of June, folks.
3rd of June.
3rd of June, and I didn't say it in the presentation. We were supposed to open in April 2020. I had got then secured Brian Cox to come and do an evening under the stars that same month. And then unfortunately COVID hit. We went to do it again in October, COVID hit. So as everybody says, 3rd time lucky. So hope to see you all there. It is a reduced experience because of COVID, but we're going to open, and you know, there's a daytime and a summertime and a winter experience. The wintertime experience to me is probably the better. So it's good to have that shoulder experience. So if your guys are staying in Omagh or in Enniskillen, that you can say, you know what, why don't you go up to Ulm tonight, wrap up, come up. You can do the exhibition tour. You know, it's open to 9 o'clock. It's open to 7 o'clock Monday to Thursday, and then 9 o'clock Friday and Saturday. So on Sunday, of course, we're open 11 to 7. So, you know, and if it's a VIP tour and they want to pay that wee bit extra, guys, we can actually open up later and get the astronomers there, or if they're into archaeology, whatever they want. We're also doing a wee bit of forest bathing and meditation. So, you know what, it's an amazing experience, but what will benefit the Spurns and make people stay and then sort of branch out. And, you know, joined up there with Gorchin and Dava now with our 2 mountain bike centres. You know, it's a great day for those guys too. So, no, thank you. I'm happy to take any questions now because I'm sorry, I really do have to go on to another meeting, but...
You're all right. Or folks, if you have any questions that you think of, obviously put them in the chat box and I can direct them to Mary afterwards to come back to you at a later date as well. But I don't see any hands going up or anything just now, Mary. But I said, Mary, thank you so much. It's great. And I mean, obviously, I've been very familiar with it for a while now, but even that presentation is great to get more insight to it. So thank you and good luck with it.
And good luck, everybody, on the 24th. And I'll see you down in Enniskillen and Omagh shortly. Thanks very much. Bye.
Thank you, Mary.
Bye.
Okay, folks, so I'm just going to get the next presentation up and we'll move on. So folks, I'm just going to introduce Selwyn, who many of you will know, and Selwyn is joining us from Headhunters Barbershop and Railway Museum, and is going to take us through a presentation of what they offer there. But before we start, Selwyn, I'm just going to play your short video and let everyone get a look at that, and we'll go on from there. Nice, Selwyn, over to you. Are you on mute maybe, Selwyn?
Still on mute, Selwyn.
Can you hear me?
Got you now there.
Sounded better on mute.
Thank you. From one of the largest attractions to one of the smallest in Headhunters Barbershop and Railway Museum, and it's our 40th anniversary this year, so it's delighted to be able to share with you a wee bit about who we are. We're located at 5 Darling Street on Enniskillen, in between the Jolly Sandwich and McBride McCreesh Opticians. It was established in 1981 by brothers Gordon and Nigel Johnston, who after working in Belfast and London decided to return to their hometown to open a ladies and gents hairdressing saloon. And then the name Headhunters derives from the fact that the shop is adjacent to Head Street, and initially the salon had an African theme with animal head spears and leopard skin wallpaper. But the Railway Museum opened in 2002, and Nigel Gord and myself had an interest in local railway heritage, as our cousin had worked on the railway. So we've been involved in a number of commemorative events for former rail employees, and having no success in finding a location to display the artefacts we had collected, we decided to change the theme of the barbershop to a railway one. The museum, it's a registered charity, and it's the world's only barbershop and rail museum bringing heritage onto the high street. We're open all year round, Tuesday to Saturday, 9 AM to 5:30 PM, with free admission to the museum, and haircuts are optional for the visitors. However, donations are most welcome to further the work of the museum, which, as I've said, is a charity. From small beginnings, and with the help of former rail employees and enthusiasts, we now have one of the largest displays of small Irish railway artefacts from the 3 railway companies which once operated in County Fermanagh: the Great Northern Railway, the Sligo-Leitrim Railway, and the Clocker Valley Railway. The museum also has an impressive large model railway, which is extremely popular with children and adults alike. We pride ourselves with involvement in a large number of community events promoting the connection with the railways, and this has included commemorations for World War I and II, in the rail, which the railways played an important part in transporting troops, materials, to vintage steam traction engine road runs around Fermanagh. The museum relies on volunteers, and they've been recognised with the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service and the UK Heritage Railway Association Award for Outstanding Railway Museums. Just the next slide there, please.
I'm pushing the button, but it's not doing anything.
I'll chat there just while it's coming up there. Just it's our customers and visitors. The barbershop attracts juniors to seniors from the local area, but also visitors to the town who wish to experience a traditional haircut in a railway museum. We're autism friendly, and the railway theme helps to overcome children's fear of going to the barbers. We're now seeing a 3rd generation of gent attending the barbers from many families. The relationship between barber and customer is extremely special, and indeed many gents see their barber more often than their GP. So it's not surprising that barbers have received training in mental health first aid to help signpost and support services when required. And customers can also take a tour of the museum while waiting for a haircut, so it saves the wait and makes it more interesting while you're doing that. The Rail Museum is family friendly, and visitors include both railway enthusiasts, those with an interest in local history, and just the inquisitive who want to experience a traditional haircut in the most unique surroundings. Customers are comfortable with visitors popping in, and women often share how they enjoy the unique experience of seeing inside a barber shop. They also can't get over the difference in pricing of men's and women's haircuts, with women's being significantly higher. Railway enthusiasts are also an increasing market. They're a very large market in the UK, and they enjoy visiting rail attractions when they go on holiday. So they value the experience of talking to the barbers, volunteers, other customers about local railway heritage, the things that were smuggled across the border, and Sunday school excursions and the like. And need a haircut while on holiday? Well, many men will go to another barber while on holiday. Women, maybe not so much. If only to say that they experience the world's only and the one of the 8 most weird and wonderful museums in the UK. Just next slide. Meeting customer needs. During the COVID lockdown, we've been busy refurbishing the premises with new lighting displays, assisting visitor flow with security cameras and visual displays. It's a self-guided tour within the museum, and a complimentary leaflet is available to help people. The barbers are also on hand to answer any questions visitors might have. During the lockdown, we produced 20 short films with the help of the council funding, and these were shared on social media as part of our Discover Headhunters Museum series to showcase our artefacts while the museum was closed to the public. The traditional haircut and chat with the barber and other customers is increasingly part of the authentic experience of visiting the Rail Museum, and they now have merged together, and we often get asked, are we a barbers in a museum or a museum and a barbers? So visitors to the Headhunters are interested in knowing more about which local attractions to visit next, where to eat and stay, and we're happy to play our part and signpost visitors to their next destination. They like to take photos or film on their phone as they tour the museum, and are eager to leave comments on TripAdvisor. And this previously helped us reach #1 visitor attraction spot in Enniskillen TripAdvisor, which is an amazing accolade for such a small museum. We've enjoyed working with Bleak Pottery, and we've a railway display in their museum and visitor centre focusing on its railway connections and history. We also have artefacts on loan to Fermanagh County Museum on display, and have items on loan from them in our own museum. Our museum is small, but we enjoy making connections with the local history through community events, steam traction engine visits, open days, school events. Rail travel during Victorian times is on the school curriculum, and we've received requests from museum visits, talks, handling collections and photographs. The development of a model railway has helped engage younger visitors, and not so young, to the craft of modelling and operating trains, and we now see that as a very popular aspect of the visit. We work closely with other museums throughout Ireland regarding events, displays, interloans from our collections, and that's both north and south, and with great network of connections made there. Just looking ahead, well, future tourism opportunities with the Sligo, Leitrim and Northern counties, and the Great Northern Railway Greenway initiatives to connect up our counties, attractions and accommodation providers. Just this week, we've been contacted by the consultants working on the Sligo Leitrim Greenway, wishing to look at our original plans of the lines, the drawings of the bridges and photographs collections to help them take this forward. This will stretch all the way from Sligo to Enniskillen and will open up a lot of new tourism opportunities. Now, it seems to be progressing at speed. This has been talked about for 30 years, but I sense that it's going to happen fairly quickly. Then that also maybe connects up a lot of the spiritual trails that are in the pipeline as well. And then there's the Great Northern Greenway, which they're hoping to link from Enniskillen to Bundoran or Enniskillen to Omagh, Enniskillen to Newton Butler via Clonus. So there's lots of opportunities there that we're looking at. There's currently an All-Ireland Railway Review taking place, which is exploring opportunities to return rail travel to the west, which will improve connectivity for future generations. Now, our museum has been proactive in lobbying for the return of rail travel and completion of a feasibility study by Fermanagh and Omagh District Council with the environmental benefits that this would present. So again, that's something that maybe 10, 20, 30 years ahead, that we could see the return of railways to Fermanagh and Omagh, and link all the way from Derry, Londonderry, right through Omagh, Enniskillen, Sligo and beyond, or there's different other routes that could be. Headhunters are looking at how our railway collection can be enjoyed by future generations beyond the life of the barber shop. And the Sligo Leitrim Greenway may provide an opportunity for new museum displays and gateway centres within that whole route. So that's something that we're working with the consultants on. We're also planning a railway photograph project contrasting past and present scenes from our archive to help children become rail detectives, locate where the railway once operated and find the bridges, rail track bed and stations which still remain. We often find people say with an old photograph they can't locate where that is now, and it's only by looking where it is now as to they can make sense of what the past was. So it's just having a photographs where fade in from the old to the new and that allow people then to see where these scenes were over the years. We continue to provide and enjoy partnering with others by highlighting railway connections, such as the US soldiers during World War II, which travelled by rail throughout Fermanagh, railway bridges, such as the Weirs Bridge and projects with that, railway art and paintings, steam traction engine power, and opening up our extensive railway collection, including photographs, film, artefacts, documents, and plans. We continue to welcome visitors to the museum, which is featured on several TV shows and radio programmes, and it's just been selected as the UK's most weird and wonderful museum in the UK. And we didn't know whether being weird is being a good thing, or who's weird and who's wonderful. But I suppose any publicity is good publicity for us and for the area. We value being part of the visitor attraction community, even though we are a very small attraction, and in particular the support and encouragement received by Fermanagh and Omanchester Council and Fermanagh Lakeland Tourism. And we continue to look forward to continue to work with them and others to promote our area and retain more visitors for longer and help them enjoy our beautiful area. Because finally, the barbers are open at present, but the entire museum will reopen next Tuesday, and we're looking forward to welcoming visitors once again. The final slide will be of interest to you. I say it's thank you for allowing me to share an overview with you this morning. I leave you this artist impression of what Enniskillen Integrated Rail and Bus Centre would have looked like should have remained open after 1957. You would have had regular trains to Omagh, Bundoran, Clones, Sligo, and onwards to Dublin and Belfast. And in this scene, you can see Cole's Monument in the background, Lidl, the little store, just peeping through. And let's hope when they reopen the line in the future that they don't want all the railway artifacts back from our museum, and we'll be left with nothing. So, but thank you for allowing us to share our overview of the museum. And if any questions, be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Selwyn. That was fantastic. We do have a hand up here. Oh, it's gone. I saw one. I think that's Nessa there. Nessa, do you want to take yourself off mute? And
yeah, are they actually? Is it a definite that they're going to open up the lines again?
Nothing's definite. There is a railway review, an All Ireland Railway Review, which is taking place at the moment, and this is the first time that has taken place. The council has been in touch with the Minister Mallon with regards to looking at a feasibility study, as are other councils, to see if lines reopened, just to make sure that Fermanagh is included. If you look at the railway map of Ireland, Fermanagh, the west, is there's a big gaping hole where there's no railway services at all. So I mean, there's always been the excuse that there's not enough people living in Fermanagh, that you don't pay enough. It's like saying then should all libraries be closed in Fermanagh and Omagh, and should we not have hospitals, and everything should be centred in Belfast because that's where the population is. So there is a great growing movement to say that we deserve connectivity, and we're just saying that there's a feasibility study, if it's undertaken by the council and consultants, to see then where this might go. It'll not be slavishly maybe going along the former railway routes, that where it'll not be steam trains. There's hybrid, there's hydrogen, there is electric trains. They're much quieter, they're faster, they're smaller. I mean, you're looking at 10, 20, 30 years away and another generation, and trying to see what could happen. And thankfully, there is this movement now to look at that and to sort of feasibility studies into seeing, is this a possibility? In the past, people would have laughed at it and said, they can't fix the roads. How on earth are they going to create a railway? But I think now there's a sense under community planning and other initiatives that they're thinking, maybe 10, 20, 30 years, is this a possibility? Should we be looking at this? Will fossil fuels still be around? What's the best way of transporting people? So there is a bit of hope. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's more hopeful than it's ever been.
Are they going to look at the cargo aspect of it as well? Because that's that's going to make them money or help them to sustain it.
It is. I suppose that the issue that was the downfall when it closed, and that the bus and lorry services all competed against each other, and they couldn't see the value of each having their own customers, and people want things delivered to the door as opposed to travelling on. Would had to go to the station and pick them up, and the extra transport costs. But yes, I mean, hopefully an All Ireland review will pick up the connections, and also thinking of a connection from Lochnay right through Omagh into Enniskillen and then onwards to Sligo. I mean, if you think when the railway operated into Sligo 60 odd years ago, there's more connection with Sligo as a city, as a town, but really, Fermanagh, there's little connectivity with Sligo, and I think that's something that maybe will be built on hopefully in the future and add to the trade and tourism. So we just wait and see. It's a long-term thing, but a lot of reviews, people talk about connectivity and transport and the issues of getting down to Fermanagh. I know with the G8, someone was held in Fermanagh and Enniskillen. Everybody reached Belfast and we're all hoping to get on the train to Enniskillen, and we couldn't get over how they're going to get from Belfast to Enniskillen. So I think people just are surprised that you can't get down there, and it's not it's something for the future, and we look at a feasibility study, and the council thankfully is very much supporting this, and it's an inter-council thing. It's not just Fermanagh, it's all the councils, because everyone's a winner if it happens.
Thank you, Selwyn. Thank you, Nessa. Now, Selwyn, I have a 4-year-old very excited about coming to get his hair chopped and have a look at the trains in the next couple of weeks. So does he need to book the hair first and then come along, or what way does that work?
No appointment necessary. Just pop in.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, Selwyn, if anyone has any further questions, as we go through the presentations, you can stick them in the chat box, whatever, and we can address them later on in the day. But thank you very much for Selwyn. Selwyn, that was a great presentation. Folks, next we are going to move to the Sperrins part of the district, back to the Sperrins, and we're going to welcome Mark Millar and Kendall Glenn from the newly opened Glenpark Estate. So folks, if you are ready, I'm just going to pass over to yourselves, and you can give me the wink and the nod when to keep moving through the presentation, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem. Lovely. So we're just going to do a wee bit of a tag team in here. It's pretty much off the cuff here, so we're just going to wing it. The last few weeks here at Glen Park has been really busy. It's been so crazy. A lot of builders on site, and getting the whole place ready for opening very soon. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of feedback on what we're doing here at Glenpark Estate. Yeah. So previously, Glenpark Estate, we're at the foot of the Gorts and Glens, and it would have been previously the old history park, the Ulster History Park. So we are now developing this into I don't really know what there's loads of opportunities that we can do here at Glen Park. We're opening hopefully on the 29th of May, next Friday. So Kendall, do you want to take over?
It's more of a soft opening from the 29th. So where our people here are staying at our caravan site, we'll be opening our restaurant and our sit-in bar, so they'll be able to come over and have dinner. So it's more of a soft opening, and then in June hopefully we'll be opening to the public. So
previously too, the history park was closed in the 1990s, or was created in the 1990s, so it was and more developed for tourism for schools and stuff, the history, and it was closed in 2003. So since 2003, there hasn't been a whole lot happening here at the site. Richard Beattie, who is a well-known livestock auctioneer, he has now bought the premises and is developing it into this boutique guest house. Can I move over the slides?
Of course. Sorry, there we go.
Yeah, we've also applied and got our certificate for we're good to go business. So that was just yesterday.
That was just done yesterday. So
we actually had Tourism NI in on Tuesday. So we got now our certificate to start trading as a guest house, and also our bar license and restaurant license is coming on its way. So we should be very ready to go next week. It's been absolute mayhem. I mean, if you hear drills in the background and people hammering, the builders are actually still on site as we speak. So we're in 8 luxury bedroom accommodation, which we can take up to 24 guests. With the Carnogue restaurant with around 40 to 50 covers in the restaurant. With a Stag and Buck bar, which will also take about 50 covers. And then we have a Moat and Bailey venue room. So that is really what we're doing in the main building. The Moat and Bailey venue room, it can cater for the likes of small weddings, christenings, small birthday parties. So that's roughly around the 70 odd covers we can do there. Go to the next slide. We're on 43 acres of mature woodland as well, and that is getting developed as we speak as well. So at Glen Park 2, we have a caravan site on pitch. It would have been the old caravan site that the council owned. So when we came on board, the site was completely overgrown, and we basically had to start from scratch with 24 hard-standing caravan pitches, with 8 camping pitches. All pitches have electric and water supplied to them. We have a communal area which has showers and a games room and a TV room for everybody to use. When did we open the caravan park?
So 3 weeks ago now.
3 weeks ago. So we opened, I think, when government guidelines allowed us, and we've been busy. We've been booked out every weekend since. And even during the week, we're getting a few guys on coming through the doors midweek as well. So that was very good. As you can see, that's just a builder walking in past us there. So pay no heed if everybody's walking in and out the door. So a couple of other things we're trying to do here at Glen Park. We're going to create our own farm shop. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks that'll be ready to go also. What we're going to do in the farm shop, we're going to try and have as much local products in the shop as possible. So local meat, local cheeses, bacon, Kennedy bacon. Hopefully we're going to get on board. Just anything local, we'll try and get into that shop as much as possible. We'll also have a traditional coffee machine and ice cream as well. I think all the kids will be looking forward to the ice cream. Then also what we have, we're creating a kids play area. It's called the Den in the Glen. So this is a soft play area, indoor soft play area. And sorry, it's just a drill. I'm sure you hear all that drill. 1 second.
You're all right.
Sorry. So the Den in the Glen is a soft play area. So what's the purpose of this will really be for kids' birthday parties, kids groups. We've actually a couple of schools interested in coming to use it now next month. So this is hopefully opening now sometime early June also. And then attached to that Glen Park soft play area, we also have a kids play, a kids park. So that's your climbing frames, swings, slides, a small football pitch going in there, bouncy castle. So really geared up for birthday parties for kids. We also have our own choo-choo train at Glen Park. Our boss, our owner, Richard, purchased a train, and this is the Glen Park Express road train. And the purpose of this is to take all the kids and anybody really who wants to visit the Glen Park, to take them around the estate. Next slide. So the train will also transport people up to our Glen Park Rare Breed Open Farm. So Richard, being an auctioneer, he can get his hands on all these wonderful rare breed animals. So the plan up there is to have buffalo, deer, some stag, valley black nose, sheep, some horse, emu, potbelly pigs. So there's a variety of different animals up there. It's all getting fenced off as we speak. So each animal will have their own individual paddock and have their own shed as such, something for undercover during bad weather. So we'll also have around about a 2 mile walk around the whole estate. So if you want to bring family, kids, everybody will come up, walk around the estate, go up to the rare breeds. We'll have coffee up there, picnic tables so people can bring their picnic. It's just really a family-oriented place. That's what we're hoping to create. I'm going to, next slide. I'm going to pass you over to Kendall here. Kendall is our events coordinator and wedding coordinator. So at Glen Park here, we're also going to be a wedding venue as also. So I will pass over to Kendall for her to explain what we're doing.
Yeah. We have a bit of everything happening on at the moment. So we're going to have the Gillies Island Pavilion, we have it named, which is a wedding venue with a difference. It is a really, it's a good hidden gem, and it's a perfect venue to create your own history. We have the Gillies Island, which is exclusively private for the bride and groom on the day. It's closed off to the public, so it's just theirs to use for the day. And they have the courtyard and the full estate and the grounds and everything for their photographs as well. So we have a stone church on site that we can use for ceremonies. So we have an outdoor facility for that, or within the church. It's in a round courtyard with a round tower, and a couple of old stone buildings within it as well, and a wishing well. So we have our drinks reception would be up in the Glen Park Estate house within the fawn reception. So we would have everybody there during the day and then move on down to the Gillies Island Pavilion, where our Glenpark Express train will take all the guests down to the island. Hopefully we can take about 50 guests at a time rather than everybody having to walk down. It can take you on a trip round the estate first and round the grounds, and then taking you down to the island. Our fixed pavilion will cater up for 250 guests, and we have about 5 different packages we can work with, and the estates after dinner they can take a walk throughout the whole grounds, and after dinner they can take a walk around and look around everywhere. So it's really a really different, unique wedding venue for couples to look into, and there's a bit for everybody within it.
I suppose the location of the pavilion, I mean, it's in the middle of an island, and the location is just unbelievable. The scenes, we're looking at the actually Devonish Tower, the replica of the Devonish Tower. You're looking down over that. We have an old church on site. We'll be also doing civil ceremonies in the church as well. So it's a real unique venue, something different to your traditional hotel style venue. So it is a wedding with a bit of a difference.
Definitely, folks. I think that's the last slide, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Folks, thank you so much for that. And I really appreciate you coming in, because I know you are completely up to your eyes getting everything sorted and getting it ready and working through everything. So thank you so much. I mean, I know George has been up with you, as I haven't got up on site myself yet, but I think it's a brilliant addition to the offering in the area. So it's great to see all the work that you are doing. And I suppose we've one question here around, the opening. So I mean, I think kind of by the end we understood that maybe it is, open to the public, that you can just come along and visit. And then obviously, if you're not accommodation provider, I suppose the question is, can a visitor visit the park and or the express road train without booking accommodation? And if so, do you know what costs that would be yet, or maybe you haven't worked out those rates and things yet?
We're actually just in the middle. We have rough costs, but they're just not finalized yet. But definitely, I mean, the estate will be open for everyone. So just not if you're staying in the guest house, it'll be open to the public. So hopefully when you come here, there's a little bit for everyone. We're hopefully opening next weekend, but it's only booking only through the restaurant. And then moving down a couple of weeks, maybe mid-June, the likes of the play area will open, the farm shop will open, the actual park, the estate itself, where you can get round and look at the old houses that would have been previously there at the history park. They're still on site. We haven't done anything with them at the minute. So Costin, we'll be publishing something on our website in the next couple of weeks, I would say, definitely.
Okay. And another question is, how far is it from Omagh? And where is it situated exactly?
So we are about 4 miles, is it, or 5 miles? 4 or 5 miles from Omagh on the Gorchin Road. So it's literally just at the foot of the Gorchin Glens Forest Park. Literally only 200-300 yards before the turn off or the entrance into the Gorchin Glens. So a good location, because we're hopefully going to piggy bank a lot off the Gorchin Glens. I know there's been a lot of footfall through the Gorchin Glens this last while, so hopefully we can piggy bank off that, and vice versa. With the mountain biking up there, the new horse trail going in, so there's loads of opportunity hopefully for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose, overall it gives the visitor a lot more to do in that area. So it's definitely a great addition. Sorry, folks, I have another question for you. You're still
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
This one is just the express train. And again, maybe this is something that's still in development, but how long is the wee journey that takes you around the estate, or, what's the duration of that, the train journey?
That's still in, we're not sure yet. I mean, our estate, we've over 2 mile of a walk. So possibly at the minute the train will pick up and drop off. So we could drop people off up at the open farm, and then pick them up in the maybe a half an hour loop or something like that. But there also is the possibility, and again, this is just off the cuff, the road train is actually road legal, so there's a possibility that we can take people up around the Gorchin Glen Drive, I think it's called, is it? So up the Forest Park and go up in around the drive. That's just not confirmed yet, but there is a possibility of doing that also.
Okay. And then the last question we have at the moment is, and I suppose one of the things I'd maybe throw out there is maybe Mark and Kendall, as obviously, plans are consolidated and you've got things up and running, you can obviously share information with us, and we can share it out through this group of people and through other people, obviously, so that they're aware of the more details. But this last question is, would visitors have access to the houses that would have been part of the old history park?
Yes, some of the houses have got into bad state, so we will, due to health and safety, we will be fencing off a few of them. But definitely physically, you can see them from the outside. We are going to develop them. We've got loads of stages. I mean, the possibility of what we can do here is just endless. I mean, our owner, Richard Beattie, has got such a such a vision for the whole estate. We're with an old water mill there. We're talking about maybe renewable energy. It's a possibility of making our own gin there. It's just endless, the opportunities that what we can do here. But to answer your question, to get in around the inside of them at the minute, no, due to the health and safety. But eventually we will be developing each little building as we go, possibly looking into creating into accommodation, especially the old stone buildings there. There'll be very little work to do to develop them into maybe like a self-catering accommodation or something like that. The older timber frame houses, there's a little bit more work to do on them. They haven't gone past the stage where they can't be repaired. We've had a survey done on them, and they can be repaired, but it's just what we do with them. It may be something like a glamping, or maybe just purely tourism, so people can look around them. We're just not sure. The initial stage was to get the accommodation, bar, restaurant, and get the farm shop and kids area opened, and now this will be the next phase of it. So over the next 6 months, there'll definitely be something developed in them areas.
Yeah, Well, it's fantastic. And I mean, I know myself, you've done an awful lot of work in a short time. So well done and best of luck as it goes forward. I suppose I don't know if anyone else is interested, but I follow you on Instagram on Glenpark Estate. So I suppose if people are interested in following, you know, the developments and the progressions as it goes, it's as good a place as any. But again, if there's no more questions, we'll let you off the hook at that. And as I say, if as things progress, we will obviously share with the wider group if they want to know any more information.
Yeah, like we haven't really launched anything too much because you know, I mean, if you'd have seen this place last Monday, it was a building site. We were going into our last room only 10 days ago, and the furniture went into it yesterday. So I mean, there's been late nights, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, getting things ready. So in the next, I would say in the next week or two, we will be launching more things, more information will come out. So just keep watching and say Instagram, Facebook, social media, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, folks, once again, thank you for taking the time to join us and best of luck with it. And yeah, we'll move on from there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a million. So now, folks, we're going to come back to Fermanagh, and we have Isabelle Leonard with us, who is going to take us through their property there at Corralea Activity Centre. Isabelle, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. So Isabelle, again, I'll just hand over to you and let me know when you want me to keep moving through things, all right?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, well, our site is a lot smaller than Glen Park, but I remember actually taking a language students group to the Ulster History Park, fabulous place then. I was very sorry to see it closed, but it's nice to see it opening under different things. Well, I'm French myself, and Marius, my husband, is from the Belcoo area. And after working and living in Belfast, when we started our family, we decided we wanted to move back to Fermanagh to bring up the children in a rural setting. We were lucky to find these cottages that came on the market in 1994, and we had always dreamt of developing an activity centre, so we took the jump and decided to go for it. We are still running the self-catering cottages. They're situated on 16 acres of forest and just on the edge of Upper Lochmachneen, outside Belcoo. And we are also offering outdoor activities. We've always been really, really interested in sustainability. So way back in 2006, Marius worked with the Green Box, which was a cross-border body, to try to bring sustainability in tourism. And we did a lot of work on the cottages to make them more eco-friendly, bringing double glazing, insulation, wood fire, solar panels, and things that at the time were quite forward-thinking, but who now are kind of common and mainstream. And it's nice to see these kind of sustainability is becoming more mainstream. So we still have cottages. You can just book them for minimum of 2 nights or for more. And you can also have packages with outdoor activities. So if you just should add that they are good to go as well and safe travels. For me, this slide encapsulates what we're all about. We are a family-run business, and we have a very strong family ethos, and all the family is interested in outdoors and outdoor activities. That slide was taken last summer, and it was a sunrise paddle, 4:30 in the morning. We never saw the sun that morning. It was misty, but it was still a magical moment with ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. And that's the kind of experiences we want our customers to have. The top picture there is a lock swing. I believe, according to my daughter, this is the only lock swing in Ireland. It was her idea. She had traveled extensively in Indonesia and was stuck here with us for lockdown and decided that she wanted to bring a bit of Bali into Belcoo. And It has proven very popular with all our customers, and especially the Instagrammers, because they're fantastic opportunities for photographs. The other picture is our friend Muna. She's not a pet, but she comes regularly at the back of the house. And the forest has wild deer roaming and a lot of wildlife, very abundant wildlife. And that's something we cherish now. Not rare breeds, but they're all native wildlife. So a lot of red squirrels, birds, cuckoos, otters, herons on the lake. And that's something that we enjoy a lot and that our customers enjoy a lot as well. Okay. So really, outdoor activities is what we really are about, and it's really where our heart is. We offer 3 types of outdoor activities. The top one is really an instructor-led activity, and that would be archery, climbing on our outdoor climbing wall, or mountain biking on our little mountain bike trails on site. These, we used to work a lot with youth group and school groups. We have now completely changed direction due to COVID. Last year, all our bookings disappeared. So that was a good time to turn a page and do something different. So now we're only working with family bubbles, groups of friends, and private sessions. So we don't run public programs of activity anymore. The other type of activity is the hire, and that has increased dramatically last year. We hire paddle boards and kayaks, single kayaks, double kayaks, and we also hire e-bikes. All these activities are available for residents and day visitors, and the hire is very good value. The paddle board or a single kayak is £25 for a 2-hour hire on the lake. You get a map of the lake, you get a wetsuit as well. So it's really good value. And I think more people are wanting to create their own adventures, and that's one way to do it. The e-bike is the same price, £25 for 3 hours. And again, you get all the equipment that you need. And with the suggestions of routes you could go to, depending on the kind of things you're interested in. E-bikes are just starting to get popular. Our e-bikes are mountain bike e-bikes, electric bikes. So they allow you to go off-road on forest tracks and things like that. They're fantastic. They really, you still have to pedal. But for somebody like me who is not interested in cycling, they allow you to go off-road in wild areas without really sweating too much. Okay, so if you can move the next one. And that's a third type of activities we offer, and they are bespoke experiences. This one is our latest. It's the Electric Escape, and it is the first e-bike experience in Northern Ireland, where our son Brian, who is a very keen mountain biker, well, is fanatic about bikes, mountain bikes, e-bikes, gravel bikes, fixing bikes. So he has designed this tour, which is taking people off from our centre off onto the bog and the scarplands of West Fermanagh. And it's really getting off the beaten track, and it's an opportunity to see parts of Fermanagh that very few visitors would see normally. And again, because of the electric mountain bike, you can have a group of friends with people less fit that will enjoy the ride in the same way. That particular experience is an Embrace a Giant Spirit experience, and it is in a maximum group of 6 people, because we want to keep the atmosphere intimate and adapt the tour to the groups. So You can do, if you're interested in history, you could discover the giant, the court tomb of Agneglach in the forest. If you're more interested in visiting a thatch pub in the middle of nowhere, and that's one option. So the tour is very much adapted to what the people are interested in. Okay. The next experience we also offer is going underground, and this is run by Marius. Marius is the cave leader. He's been caving since he was 17. He's been involved in ACRO, the Irish Cave Rescue Organization, and he has been for many years a warden in Fermanagh. So I think he knows everything you need to know about caves in the area. This is offered as a day or a half-day activity or experience, or it can be as part of a weekend break. It's again in small groups. It's a private session. All the equipment is provided, and it's very, very different from a visit in a show cave, as you kind of discover stalactites, stalagmites, all kinds of formation through the beam of your light, and you get to experience total darkness. So it's not for everybody, but it is a unique experience. Okay. And lastly is our forest Ecospa. We had always dreamt of, going back to the Irish sweat houses, and we thought, we're beside the lake. Wouldn't it be fantastic to recreate a sweat house and then go for a plunge in the lake? Obviously, that wasn't possible. We didn't have the expertise. We wouldn't be able to get the insurance. So we decided to go and look at the Nordic countries, and because they would tend to have saunas in the middle of nowhere. And we decided to go for this kind of Nordic sauna and wood-fired hot tub. And it is eco-friendly. It's not running with electricity. It's just a wood fire with the wood harvested in our forest. And it is just magical. By the way, this photo is not photoshopped. That was one day in April when it was beautiful. And it's something we offer our customers in the cottages. They can book the Forest Eco Spa. Or for day visitors, it has to be part of an experience, such as the slow adventure escape, and that is canoe hire for 2 hours, and then 2 hours in the hot tub. Or a day of serenity is a full day experience with either canoeing or e-biking, and then the full experience of the spa. And then the recharge and chill is really more for the autumn and winter time, where you do e-biking and then you end up in the sauna. And so these are proving very popular. The Day of Serenity is going to be, we've got an added pod, relaxation pod coming, which was to come today, but hasn't arrived yet. So we're waiting to finalize this development. Okay, and by the way, all these activities are bookable, experiences are bookable online on our website. Finally, the last, So yes, the vision for the future and the last year really, we've changed completely direction. Our customer profile has changed dramatically. Up to 2019, adults only represented about 29% of our customers. Last year, it was 77%. So a huge change, a lot more families as well, and groups of friends. We welcome very much the renewed interest in slow activities and eco-friendly activities. And that's something we are keen to continue. All our activities are eco-friendly, they are non-motorized, and the whole idea is to try to stay in tune with our environment and have as little impact as possible on the environment. We acknowledge the support of FODC through the Tourism Excellence Program, the Digital Support Program, the lots of programs, and tourism and that has been absolutely vital for us to, especially when we decided to change direction. In the future, we are still committed to sustainability. That's something that is very, very close to our hearts. Responsible tourism, so we're not interested in huge numbers. We want to offer bespoke experiences, intimate experiences, and any experience with our Ecospa, for instance, is having an exclusive use of the Ecospa, so that they're really authentic, and they're really you really get a chance to get in tune with the environment around you, which I think is what people are looking for nowadays. And finally, just a word on the Geopark. We took part recently in a sustainability program run by the Geopark, and it was involving other tourism businesses in the Geopark. And we are now creating a network of like-minded tourism businesses who want to really promote this area, but in a sustainable way and in a responsible way. So that's still in its infancy, but we are really excited about that development. Okay, I think that's me.
Yeah, and I suppose next we'll just play a short video
of
the
video, yes.
Facility and what you can experience at Corralea.
I should add to thank Lochnay Imaging for the video and for our models. This was an absolutely Baltic day, early April. I think it was only about 4 or 5 degrees, and the lake was very, very cold, but they did brilliantly.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a chill when I see it, because I remember the conditions were so dreadful, but it just gives you, just imagine that with a little bit more sun and 10 degrees extra, and it's just bliss.
It's a beautiful video. I suppose they did do very well, because it certainly doesn't look that cold, Isabelle, so they did great.
It actually snowed the morning before they started filming, so that's how cold it was.
Isabelle, we do have a few questions for you, so thank you very much again for a fantastic presentation on what you offer there. But we'll just run through some of the questions here. Can non-residents use the lock swing, and if so, how much does it cost? And is it suitable for adults and children?
Yeah, no, the lock swing is really for our customers, but any customers to our canoe hire or any our hire, e-bike hire, has access to it, yes. Okay. The only thing we do not want the public to just walk through, go to the swing and walk out again. That's not what we're about, but it is really for our customers, residents and non-residents.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
And it's free.
Yeah. There's a couple of offers here. I suppose this goes for everybody, that if you want to drop any information into either the visitor information centre at the castle or at the Marble Arch Caves, they'd more than welcome any literature or information to share with visitors. So that, I suppose, goes to everybody here. And in the chat, the contact details are there, but I can also share them in an email after this session. Nessa is Nessa, by the looks of things, should be booking in for the e-bikes. Is that right, Nessa?
The e-bikes are fantastic.
Yeah, there's a question as well, is how much is the caving experience and the e-bike and forest Ecospa experience, Isabelle?
The caving is £200 for the afternoon, and that is for the afternoon with Marius, and it's up to 4 people. So whether there's 1 or 4 people, it's the same price. And after that, it's £50 for any extra person. Okay. And the e-bike with the forest Ecospa is £50 per person, and you can have up to 6 people in the sauna. But once people book online, if 2 individuals book the forest Ecospa with the e-bike, the sauna with the e-bike, then we block that. Nobody else can book for that particular day. So you're guaranteed to be the only one in a sauna. You're not going to be mixed with anybody else.
Perfect. And that's all the questions I see at the minute. So I suppose if anyone has any other questions for anybody or anything that's come to mind, now is your opportunity. But thank you for taking those, Isabelle, and again, thank you for sharing your presentation. Folks, I just want to share with you a couple of things that are happening at the minute that may be of interest to you. So we're still working on the Devonish Island Experience Ambassador Programme and the next session on to develop experiences. So you've just heard Isabelle talk about experiences. You heard Mary McKeown talk about experiences earlier today. And I mean, this is really the way of promoting what we offer here across the district, both Fermanagh Lakelands and Omagh Sperrins, to the visitors. So I suppose this one specifically, this programme is focusing on Devonish Island and experiences we can develop around Devonish Island. So the next session on that is on the 1st of June. So anyone who has an interest or something that they think they would like to develop or bring ideas to the table, you're more than welcome to attend that on the 1st of June. Still online, and hopefully we'll soon be able to get out and meet in person and on site, but that one will still be online for now. Just to draw your attention to the COVID-19 Business Recovery and Revitalisation Grant that is out at the minute, and really that's for kind of, any kind of equipment and things to support kind of, outdoor, so like awnings and things like that there. That closes on the 27th of May. So you should all have information on it. If you don't and you need us to forward you anything, either drop it into the chat or drop us an email and we can share the information with you. We don't look after that grant in tourism, but it is an economic development, but we can share the information with you. And also that Tourism and I are running a number of pricing webinars, which again, I think is important for people to understand why they're pricing and how best to price things. So, I mean, whether you're new to tourism or, you've been doing something for a while and, we had a bit of a casual chat at the start about pricing and things. That those webinars are happening. There was one, I think, this morning, but there is another one on the 27th of May, next Thursday. So you can register to attend that if it's something that you feel you need to look at. Again, I'm sharing, I've Tanya's email address up there, tanya@fermanahlakelands.com. As many of you will know, they're a membership organisation, but they're kind of tasked with promoting the destinations, both Fermanagh Lakelands and Explore Omagh and the Sperrins, to visitors outside of the district. And I suppose for the next 12 months at least, that'll be kind of NI and ROI markets. But Tanya's details are there if any of you want to contact them about any opportunities that are available through Fermanagh Lakelands. And as always, if there's anything we can support you with or help put you in the right direction, our contact is tourismdevelopment@fermanaghomagh.com. And just to round up, I suppose this is the last of these that we're going to hold because delighted that everyone is able to get reopened and that hopefully you're going to have a very busy few months ahead of you, and I just wish you all the very best of luck with that, and hopefully we can stay open this time. Let's see what happens, but hopefully we can, but we will revisit this because we've had great contributions back since we started these in November, and it is really important for us to know, I suppose, as a network, what we can offer across the district. So we will pick these up again in the autumn. If anybody would like to present, if anybody wants to share their offering with us, please let me know, and we'll make sure that we get you on the itinerary for in the autumn time. Oh, sorry. And before we go, we've one last question from Martina here, Isabelle. Martina had to answer the phone during your answer to the price for the Ecospa. So if you could just remind her of the price for the Ecospa, please.
Well, the e-bike and the sauna is £50 per person. The slow adventure, which is the canoeing and the hot tub, is £75 per person. And then there is a chance, usually the forest eco spa is only bookable for our residents, except in the winter time where we have a winter edition. Now, last winter it was £150 to book the whole eco spa, and that was for up to 6 people. Now we'll be reviewing that in the autumn for next autumn winter. Don't know if that answers the question, but
I think so. Folks, if there's nothing else, again, I would just like to thank you all, and I wish you the best of luck for the months ahead. And yeah, that's it, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, folks.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.